Well, good afternoon, dear viewers. Welcome to Younib at 1. My name is Alphonce Ouma. We have a great show lined up for you, but first things first, let's take a look at the highlights this afternoon. The Employer and Labor Relations Court temporarily halts the Kuppet strike as tensions rise.
We've shown the goodwill that we are concerned about their plight and we want to do the right thing by them.
Big move from the government. 13.5 billion shillings set to hit teachers' accounts by Friday, resolving the standoff and fulfilling the 2021-2025 CBA.
3, 2, 1, and that is the launch of the Raila Odinga for AUC chairmanship.
President Ruto unveils Raila Odinga's bid for AUC chairperson, with Odinga roaring into the race like a lion, backed by regional leaders as he sets his sights on the 2025 elections. Welcome to the broadcast. My name is Alphonce Ouma and the bulletin begins right now. In a significant development for regional politics, President William Ruto was joined by heads of states and government officials yesterday in officially unveiling former Prime Minister Raila Odinga's Kenya's and East African regions candidate for the position of the chairperson of the African Union Commission. This marks a notable moment in the bid for one of Africa's most influential positions. Our reporter Joanna now gives us more details.
Honorable Raila Odinga, and allow me at this point to now invite His Excellency Dr. William Samoei Ruto, President of the Republic of Kenya, to come and append his signature on the official launch of Kenya's AUC chairmanship. May I also invite His Excellency Right Honorable Raila Odinga to come. Also invite His Excellency Right Honorable 3, 2, 1, and that is the launch of the Raila Odinga for AUC chairmanship.
In a significant political event, President William Ruto officially launched Raila Odinga's candidacy for the chairperson of the African Union Commission at a ceremony held at State House, Nairobi on Tuesday. The event was attended by several key regional leaders, including South Sudan's President Salva Kiir, Tanzanian President Samia Suluhu, and Uganda's President Yoweri Museveni. The launch marks the beginning of Raila Odinga's formal campaign ahead of the AUC elections scheduled for February 2025. This bid aims to replace the outgoing AUC chairperson Musa Faki Mahamat. Among the notable attendees were Rwanda's State Minister for Foreign Affairs, James Kabarabe, and Burundian Prime Minister Gervais Ndarakobucha. Their presence underscores the regional support Raila is garnering for his bid. Raila Odinga's campaign will be spearheaded by a team of highly experienced and knowledgeable individuals tasked with ensuring a well-coordinated, targeted, and result-oriented campaign effort. During his speech, Raila Odinga employed a striking analogy, likening himself to the African lion to emphasize his leadership qualities and vision.
Man is an African animal, is a king of the jungle. The Cameroonian national soccer team is called the Indomitable Lions. The soccer team of Senegal is called the Lions of Teranga. The soccer team of Morocco is called the Atlas Lions. Here in Eastern Africa, we call it the Simba. The king of the jungle. When the king roars, the jungle listens.
He articulated a strong commitment to advancing Africa's interest, asserting that the continent must assert itself amid the growing economic dominance of Asia and Europe. Raila's vision included a robust push for African prosperity, aiming to elevate the continent's global standing. The launch event signifies the start of what promises to be a highly competitive campaign for one of Africa's most prestigious positions. Reporting for Younib TV, I am Joanna Moreithi.
Is Babu Owino a thorn in the flesh for Uganda's President Yoweri Museveni? Well, during the official launch of Raila's AUC bid, the Ugandan President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni hurried to the Embakasi East MP, citing what he described as intelligence inputs, claiming that Babu Owino had been collaborating with hostile groups to his administration. Take a look.
President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni.
There are some individuals in Raila's group who I don't think know what they are doing.
His Excellency Bobi Wine, welcome. Kuja ongea na watu wako.
You know, I am a consumer of intelligence services. So I always see intelligence service reports. There's a character called Babu.
The arrest of one Bobi Wine is cantankerous, it is obnoxious, it is belligerent, and it is causing anguish, consternation, discomposure, and discomfiture of spirits among the Ugandans and among members of Africa. And one dictator, Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, should know that an injury to one comrade is an injury to all.
I receive Babu.
Amepigania haki ya wanyonge waliokuwa pale Uganda. Na tulisema ya kwamba na bado tunasema ya kwamba hapa Afrika tunataka unite kila mtu. Tunataka unite youth wote wa Afrika.
When I was in prison, the Kenyan brothers and sisters put up pressure. More than 50% of the pressure on the internet all over the world came from Kenya.
Bobi Wine
Dealing with anti-Ugandan group, anti-NRM groups in Ugandans. So I had never chosen him, but now I am choosing Babu.
Well, moving on swiftly, a number of the affiliate parties of the Azimio coalition have proclaimed Kalonzo Musyoka as the coalition's new leader succeeding Raila Odinga. This comes after Raila Odinga's candidacy for chair of the African Union Commission was formally unveiled. As he assumes the mantle, the Wiper leader is cautioning the government that it would face unprecedented opposition.
In Azimio, there will be no vacuum. The next ranking member of the leadership of our coalition is the Honorable Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka.
And as I say, yes, we are ready to do our duty to God and our country. But as I do that, I'm not alone. We are with the majority of our people who expect that this administration will be kept on its feet. In fact, they will see opposition that they have never seen before.
Join us in Operation Okoa, Kenya, under the leadership of Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka.
It is my time now to be in opposition and to be in ODM, that we fight for Kenyans. We will ensure that the government, that which they promised, is indeed delivered to the Mama Mboga.
Now, in a major development aimed at resolving the standoff with the teachers, the government has pledged to release 13.5 billion shillings. Education Cabinet Secretary Ogamba has confirmed that by Friday, teachers will receive payments in their bank accounts as part of the collective bargaining agreement for the period between 2021 and 2025.
In effect, therefore, all the major issues that had prompted strike notices have either been addressed or are lined up for effective and decisive conclusion within the shortest timelines. We've shown the goodwill that we are concerned about their plight and we want to do the right thing by them. But they also need to go back to class because the students are sort of getting the short end of the stick when we are doing this negotiation. So the 46,000 teachers are on course to be confirmed permanent and pensionable status by the government, and hopefully we'll be able to complete this by January 2025. So they should not be having any anxiety over whether or not they are going to be confirmed.
Now, with that story of teachers getting a salary increment, we take a quick break right here on Younib at 1. See you on the other side of this broadcast.
J. Usafiri ama unamiliki kampuni yoyote ile? Ungependa kupata fursa ya kutangaza biashara yako ili kuwafikia wateja zaidi? Usikonde. Runinga ya Younib inakupa fursa ya kupeperusha matangazo kuhusu bidhaa na huduma unazotoa kwa bei nafuu. Kwa maelezo zaidi, wasiliana nasi kupitia nambari za simu 0750344700 ama kupitia barua pepe marketing@younibtv.com. Jinyakulie leo. Younib TV, ever the best.
Ever the best. Hallelujah.
Welcome back. Let's move on to other top stories. Now, the Employment and Labor Relations Court has intervened to temporarily halt the nationwide strike by the Kenya Union of Post-Primary Education Teachers, KUPPET. This decision, made pending the outcome of a case filed by the Teacher Service Commission on Monday, comes as the strike enters the second day. Tensions have risen with reports of confrontations between striking teachers and those who attempted to continue teaching. Listen to the report.
The High Court has issued a suspension of the strike by the Kenya Union of Post-Primary Education Teachers, KUPPET, effective immediately. Justice James Rika of the Employment and Labor Relations Court in Nairobi granted the suspension order on Tuesday, pending the hearing and determination of a case filed by the Teacher Service Commission. The petition was certified as urgent. The case involves KUPPET as the respondent, with the Ministry of Labor and Social Protection listed as an interested party. The court has scheduled the matter for mention on September 5th. The strike, which began on Monday, 26th August, was initiated by KUPPET members who are demanding the implementation of their collective bargaining agreement with their employer, the TSC. The union had previously stated that its members would continue the strike until their demands were met.
Teachers are out there making demands which are legal, why then some teachers were in class. And in particular, we are concerned about the principal who is there because of intimidating teachers. And therefore, we had to get into the compound. We got in.
Sasa hatuna msema ukweli kwa hii serikali. Sisi mpaka Mheshimiwa William Ruto pesa yetu ifike kwa bank. Ndio sisi tuende darasani hatu.
Tumechoka kama walimu, tunaomba tume ya walimu iache madharau. CBA ilikuwa ni maelewano na maelewano lazima yatimizwe.
In contrast, the Kenya National Union of Teachers had resolved its dispute earlier, withdrawing its strike notice after reaching an agreement with the Teacher Service Commission on Sunday. The court's intervention aims to address the ongoing labor dispute and facilitate a resolution, with the strike suspension expected to impact educational activities nationwide. Alphonce, Ouma, Younib at 1.
Despite significant progress, civil society organizations are bemoaning the government's inability to effectively execute the country's supreme legislation as it marks 14 years after the 2010 constitution was enacted. Different regions of the nation celebrated Katiba Day by calling on the government to protect human rights and prosecute those who engage in corruption.
One of the largest march against
this level of public participation that we've seen in the people of Kenya should be encouraged and should not be fought, should not be met by impunity and abuse and misuse of police power and criminalization of the criminal justice system against the people of Kenya.
This is an opportune time to remind the current government that we expect nothing short of complete compliance with each and every dictate of the Constitution.
The fact that we are still talking about how to create political expediency, that we can have what is good for the political class, then I think we are still going in the wrong direction. And what we ought to still foster is, let us implement the Constitution first as it ought to be.
Article 81 stipulates that not more than 2/3 of the members of the elective public bodies shall be of the same gender. By this standard, Parliament as constituted is unconstitutional.
If their own court orders are disobeyed, then they go ahead to grant reprieve to the same arm of government that continues to disobey those orders, then they remain the same suckers. They remain the joke to the citizens of Kenya.
Kujitokelezea kwa maandamano, ati tuko kando na kikatiba. Hii maandamano iko kwa katiba.
Tumeona ya kwamba tangu yassume office the year 2022 mwezi wa 9 hapo, waathiriwa wote wenye walikuwa na cases, court cases, zimekuwa withdrawn.
Bill of Rights, sisi kama watetezi wa haki za kibinadamu, ikiguswa sisi tutarudi kwa maandamano.
Well, let's shift gears a little bit to the political scene. Now, ward representatives in support of Governor Kavira of Meru are now alleging that there is a plot to undermine projects directed by the governor through the office of the Controller of Budget, one day after protests to renovate the governor, to remove the governor from office were staged. Now, take a look at this report.
The people of Meru gave the governor a mandate and overwhelmingly voted for that lady in 2022. My request to the leaders of Meru, give the people's power a chance. Give the rule of law a chance. Let us stop the shadow boxing of his setting residents in various wards.
The views that he has, even to the Controller of Budget, those are not our views. Because one, we need to have even a public participation.
Na kama MCAs wa Meru au wengine wenye wanajisikia wataki kufanya kazi na Governor Kavira Mwangaza, if they feel they don't want to be part of that government, they can resign and go back for elections. We know doctors are on the streets. We wonder where will money come from, if not from the government or the exchequer, so that these doctors' interests can be taken care of.
Kujatokea jambo la kisheria la kumdhibitisha mwingine yeyote isipokuwa Kavira Mwangaza kuwa gavana wa Meru.
Well, that's all we had lined up for you on today, Younib at 1. Thank you so much for choosing to stay with us. By extension, all gratitude goes to all those who made this broadcast a success. Behind the lens, Elias Mushina, and the Chief Controller, Anifa Kavira, together with my director, Eunice Mutua. See you some other time. Bye for now. I have been your host, Alphonce. Ouma.